Who can refuse to stay up late on Saturday? Watch a 17-minute episode of Luxury Log Cabin Construction. Then want to experience the feeling of a big family. It took 2.5 years to reach the wilderness utilizing traditional xylocaine build an enviable luxury sanctuary. The room is not only spacious, even the living facilities are readily available. Directly turn the wilderness into poetry. Hurry up and get your phone with about 60% battery and put your right foot on your left foot. Let's enjoy this episode of Bedtime Stories together. When you are still blowing the air conditioner Alaska has received its first snow. John Sr. built the foundation in advance. Now we only need to remove half a meter of snow. The overall frame of the base can be exposed before officially building the wall. He started by cutting some logs, and then through exquisite carpentry, splicing out to pure solid wood brackets so that the next work is convenient. Now the wall has officially entered the construction process. It's just that the process needs to be extra meticulous. It is necessary to ensure accurate size. In this way, the square wood can fit with zero error. And each time you stack a square wood up, screws up to 20 centimeters long must be screwed. Prevent the wall from collapsing. After a short busy period, he will also enjoy exclusive entertainment then continue to run to build the wall, although the surrounding environment is a bit bad. But John really enjoyed the immersion. And the fitting curtain of each square wood, he will adhere a layer of ceiling strip. Make sure the house is airtight in the future. As time goes by, in a blink of an eye, the wall reached a height of 1 meter. In order to save more energy in the future, and John drove down to the tool shed. In a clutter, he found a custom scaffold. Move it to the car at the door. All back to the shelter, according to the memories retained in the mind. After skillfully assembling them into a whole, John drives the snowplow directly. Put the anger of pure grain on the scaffold. It saves you time on the road trip. And they started building the walls. He will use his actual actions, accomplished but hidden in the heart of the dream, and he does it at his own pace. Repeat the same action tirelessly. In addition, the stacked regular Mukran structure, it seems very decompressing. After a full 2 weeks, the wall has finally reached its ideal height. Then follow the positions marked in advance. Groove the wall with a chainsaw until a rectangular space is formed. He stopped contentedly. John, after all, is 60 years old, so every working period of time, he needs to take a short break to recover. Good times are fleeting. And John started the next process. Before the formal establishment of the main framework, install a main beam. This has to be done very carefully, and so he went out of his way to use things that weighed hundreds of pounds. With the right support point, he continued to open the upper on the board. In this way, by mortise and tenon technology, put the airs on the roof. As a disciple imprisoned abroad by Lubin, although John only learned a few leather models, but fortunately, it's not that complicated. So how much time is wasted on this step? On the first side of the roof, the boat is constructed. Then use the same method. Continue to install the boat on the other side. As the saying goes, practice diligence capture. With the construction experience just John's now, technique is also becoming more and more proficient. It heralds the end of today's work. John also plans to go home to rest and replenish. The next morning he was finishing up the boat. Considering the frequent snowstorms here, the roof is stacked up and down, so that the rain and snow can fall better. Reduce the pressure on the roof. Although it is very confident in the structure but be careful, shoots. It's always right. See here, and I have to say, in this fantastic way, it's really impossible for an old lady to cross in the midst of intense work. The roof walls are coming out very quickly. Wait until the excess part is cut off. It forms a complete plane. And saw off the little trees that got in the way. John came to the lumber mill nonstop. After some friendly communication, he managed to pay below market price. Purchased a batch of high-quality Yanshin. Worried about the prosperity of the lumber mill John owner declined an invitation to stay for without tea. A word, drive directly and start the return only when journey. He rushed back. The surrounding environment poses another problem because John was going to build a corridor. In desperation, he can only clean up the decimals. After this little thing is done, and smooth the surface of the base, and cut the foundation measurement to a uniform size. Finally covered with a layer of asphalt roll. Prevent gaps between logs. Red can fix the wooden board up. It's not hard to guess by the extended beam. As early as when building the pedestal of the John had planned it all. Now just follow his idea. Do it yourself, step by step. Wait until all the joists are fixed. You can lay the planks on it to form a countertop. Benefit from a neat framework foundation. This step can only be said not to be too simple. And then finally, you just cut away the bits and clean the surface of the sawdust. And John had a very fulfilling day. He also finally had time to come to the banks of the Feel the breath of spring in advance. Look at the rushing river in front of you. His whole body and mind were completely relaxed. Maybe that's what life is all about. The next morning, Old John arrived at the construction site early. Start to continue the unfinished work. I saw that he first drew an arc on the square wood, and then we cut it precisely according to the lines. After the surface is polished and smooth, we have to continue to process grooves and cut out the corresponding bamboo shoots on the column, so you can take advantage of the mortise and fix it into a hole. As for the heirloom of the wooden house built before, John also chose to polish out the arc, so it looks more artistic. After finishing this trivia, he was relieved to continue building the porch. The job is relatively straightforward. It didn't take 2 or 3 efforts, and he put all the planks on. Finally, just follow the marked lines. Cut these spreads to uniform length. You can add a color up. Prepare in advance for sealing the roof, although it seems disorganized, but every step is precisely calculated. After forming a nice mesh grid, the ordered color steel tile has been delivered. This material is not only lightweight, water resistance is also the important thing is that it is very simple to install. You could say John spared no detail. This is enough to prove his talented side, with the color steel tiles being laid out piece by piece. Now even if there is a storm in the forest, the roof can still be watertight. Now, the shape of the shelter is similar even if it is built. John can finally enjoy a moment of peace. As the prototype of the wooden house was perfected, to make it easier to go up and down the stairs, John is going to make a staircase. The soil here is rather soft. Every 2 strokes he digs a chicken pit. Wait until the 2 sleepers are filled in. We're going to go ahead and mark the boards, and we cut it right along the lines. The whole process must be meticulous. In this way, a good-looking fish boat can be processed. Then introduce screws to fix to the frame. Make sure you can be as stable fix the remaining Yunshin planks in the future. Just right to act as a countertop for stairs. Wait until some details are processed. Continue to cut the slot on the deck. Mark the logs according to their position. Then the bamboo shoot heads are processed on the log. It is precisely embedded into the card slot. Make sure the error does not exceed 1 millimeter. You can use the same method later. Build the columns around the porch. After all, in the deserted wilderness, for the safety of themselves and their grandchildren, it is necessary to arrange the It's all in John's plan. Don't worry if there are not enough building materials. He has bought the surrounding 2 hectares. You can enjoy these tree beasts as much as you like. After the collection is almost complete, in order to maximize the lifespan, it is also necessary to carry out exfoliation services. John has exquisite. This step doesn't waste much time. Follow the same steps next. Install the treated logs on it. There was no hassle whatsoever. As if everything should be this way, with the right infrastructure in place. John brought in more specialized tools, considering there are a lot of cuties here. To improve the safety of the shelter, he first got out of the characters. Then through simple welding techniques, connect the wire rope and nut together. Then penetrate into the drilled hole. Pull it to the limit. Form multiple pins. After the straight line, screw on the nut for fixed storage. No small animals can break in. Wait until the guardrail is made. John's construction team was there as scheduled. In order to achieve freshwater self-sufficiency, he's going to drill a deep well here. This requires the help of a professional. Without a little superpower, I really can't live in the wild easily. Fortunately, this area is rich in water. Just hit a depth of 10 meters down. There's groundwater gushing out. With the departure of the construction team, and here comes John. As a well-known local excavator player, it's not hard to dig up lines and pipelines, and it goes down about 1 meter. He skillfully assembled the punching tool, then attacked directly at the pipeline. A standard circle is drilled every 2 strokes. Then start assembling the pressure pump. Although he has no experience in this Fortunately, field, there are detailed illustrated instructions. Wait until all the wires are fixed. It can be placed in a deep well. Then dig a ditch in the direction of the wooden house. This is a piece of cake. Wait until he finished this little thing. You have to thread the water pipe into the thermal, so even in minus 20 degrees. It also ensures that the water supply system is working properly. The excavated soil is After leveling the ground, he brought in custom aluminum alloy windows. Before the official upward installation, the first thing to do is to mark the wall, then cut along the line. It's just that he underestimated Feng Mu's There is no way but to change the all to It's play. A lot easier to work now. After a square comes out equidistant, we have to continue to make grooves on it, so as to smoothly install the window frame. Now just follow the corresponding size. The window is reinforced with screws. It can effectively solve the problem of indoor lighting. After the first installation experience, John's speed is obviously a lot faster, so practice makes perfect. And he was really serious about this. Didn't miss any details. I've been working all morning. Finally got all the windows fixed. Just as he was installing the gate, the arrival of a grandson is like a stab in the arm. It made John feel tired. Even the movements of the hands are much faster, although young grandchildren are of little help. But the main thing is a company. thanks to the accurate size. The installation of the gate has almost no doors. And finally, just put the latch on. Keeping the black bear has to meet when it comes. Considering the accelerated pace of now is the time to install the roof windows. Although the drawings were not used throughout the process. But there's just this kind of arbitrary construction to reveal his brilliant talents. With all the doors and windows installed, it gives me the feeling that I can't afford it. As the time came to noon, and John came to town to party. Fill your stomach, by the way. Enjoy a short good time. It looks like some heavy wood has arrived. Gentle helped them rise for 100 years, neatly placed on the ground. After forming the foundation, continue to splice the Yunshan planks together, although the interior space of the wooden house but in order to completely separate from the living area, he still plans to meet a penthouse as a utility room and a water cave. Although this room is not intended to be occupied, John kept it warm. The main thing is a flawless one. And then you splice the planks together, and then it doesn't take much effort. You just refrigerate it. Secure it to the base with an air nail gun. The wall frame for your protection can be formed on the top. Finally, seal a layer of European pine board. You can build beams up, because it's only a few square meters in size. It's not that difficult to build, with all the bolts fixed. John Jolly cuts arcs on it, so that it can be neatly aligned with the wooden house. He doesn't want to say thick and thin to netizens. After finishing this trivia, he directly recreated the construction process, spread out mesh lattice on the roof. This can easily fix the color steel tile, although it is just a recipe, but also to be watertight. With this work successfully completed, it just so happens that the customized utility pole has been delivered to your door. He was going to fix the electrical system. I saw that John dug a hunger pit half a meter deep and we put the pole in and backfill with soil for burial. The new home has entered a new milestone. As a new day comes, John is piping the interior to survive a warm winter. He was going to build an underfloor heating system. This step may seem simple. It's actually not that complicated, just a little time-consuming. But the last thing John needs right now is time. In a busy job, the lines and pipes were laid out very quickly. In order to improve the subsequent construction efficiency, once again brought in a professional construction team. I have to say that having superpowers is good. With the assistance of large mechanized equipment, it didn't take long to mix the concrete out, then start pouring the ground. In this way, hot water will circulate in so as to diffuse heat into the concrete, and this way it distributes the heat evenly down with a very comfortable temperature. Wait for it to dry naturally. He assembled the scaffold first. Then I took the specially prepared thermal insulation although cotton. The new home has a floor heating system. But if you want to better retain calories, this requires filling the roof with thermal insulation. It's not hard to guess by the reserve melt. As early as when building the wooden house frame, he had already made all the plans in advance. Now it's just through his hard work. It's being implemented step by step. After 2 hours of immersive work, he has filled in all the mountains. Then cover it with a moisture-proof film. Play a role in protecting thermal insulation cotton. With the enthusiastic help of my grandson, this step doesn't waste much time. Even so, John was dissatisfied. After all, you may have to look up here. The safety factor must be flawless. Just as he was about to proceed to the next process, grandson's sentence is a little hungry. Directly tell John to stop all work. Quietly accompany my grandson to eat bread and after enjoying a short parent-child time. The two of them began to fix it on the Buddha wall panel. This material is not only very lightweight, the important thing is that it is also very convenient and it also has good fire resistance. It seems that John really went to great lengths. Pick every detail just right. And then you attach the last piece of foil. It's still a while before the sun goes down. He attacks directly at the planks. Then install it on the roof as a spirit strip. Prepare to cover the roof next. The main thing in the wild is a smiling face. It's not that complicated. Just follow the location just reserved. Just screw on the screws to fix it. The next morning, the snow had covered the ground. Lingdong is quietly picking up the pace. John also arrived at the construction site early. The first thing to do is to peel the log. Avoid decay of the epidermis. And then we mark it on the ground. You take the end of the log and you turn it into a bamboo. Then just measure the height of the roof. Gentle help after the log changes height. You can follow the groove reserved in advance. We embed it precisely. The construction method of traditional bamboo shoot technology. You can be as steady as an old dog even without hitting a nail. John plans to take advantage of this simple method. Divide the interior into multiple functional areas. Because I built the house myself, he's free to do whatever he wants. For example, a study can be planned for him and his grandson to read and study. You can create a bedroom. Let him fill up his private letter while he sleeps. Now this may not seem complicated, but because you need to be precise about the size. Make sure the planks can fit like a glance. This requires a high degree of concentration. It's a lot harder than building the shape of a wooden house. In addition, In the process of building the lines and pipelines should also be reserved. That adds a lot of work. But the start of construction never happened. John can only grit his teeth and persevere. I have to say it when I see it here. Although he is already a 60-year-old man, but physical strength is not inferior. The boy is like a robot. I don't know how to be tired. I just know how to work hard. As time goes by, when he laid the line and pipes, the sky has turned completely dark. John also finally had time to take a break. The next morning, he first arranges the various materials, then skillfully assembled the transformer. I thought John was just a simple carpenter. Unexpectedly, the electrician's technology Fortunately, is also out the line pipeline has been reserved. As long as you connect the main line, you can insert other wires. I'm afraid this hands-on ability can dump me 10 The arrival of his grandson made him even Although more little overjoyed. John can't help. But the main thing is a company. The two grandparents enjoyed the cozy moment very much. Old John has also gradually picked up his work efficiency. He doesn't want his grandson talking here. Under the up and down operation of a pair of skillful hands. All lines are clearly delineated. Everything seems so orderly. Finally, as long as it is all fixed to the transformer. Even if the electrical system of the wooden house as the sky has turned completely dark, the two of them went to the hardware store in the town. Start purchasing the materials for the next use. After a tedious selection, you can end the day after paying successfully. The next morning they were assembling the valves to increase water pressure. He was going to build a hydraulic system. This is incredible. Seawater is immeasurable. John is not only proficient in carpentry to even the water system is within reach. With this arm alone, you can definitely be a contractor in our city. After the preliminary work is ready, fix it directly to the bracket. You can install hot and cold water pipes. The whole process is very complex and time-consuming, but John didn't miss any details. The whole process is meticulous and serious. Then connect the main pipe to the pump. Finally, just press the start button. After confirming that the water supply system he also went outside to check the heating situation. The inspection did not find any problems. Now his hanging heart was put down. The next morning, the sky is just getting brighter. The two of them drove to the fast food restaurant. Because my grandson is already on John took vacation, the initiative to assume Chen Han was responsible. Eat a full meal. They returned to their familiar sanctuary. Without saying a word, start covering the wall. Only this time he didn't choose Yunshin Mulan. It was drywall that was made. This can greatly improve work efficiency, and John's son came to help. 3 generations of grandchildren have worked hard. Maybe that's what life is all about. With all the rooms sealed out, John is back to work alone again. Now is the time to cover the roof. Benefit from a reason reserved in advance. The job is not that difficult. It didn't take 2 or 3 efforts. He seals the roof off. Considering the lively nature of the grandson, in order for him to run freely, he laid down a layer of wooden boards directly inside. Now the whole house is more like a work of art. When heavy snow covers the area again, John has assembled the whole cabinet. And there is a lot of modern electrical equipment. The sudden arrival of another wife, it made John feel indescribably happy. This sweet picture. My back molars are crushed by looking at it. After 2.5 years of hard work, this wooden house is now successfully completed,